Year one of 1923. My granddad started in the Platte Valley, north of Kearney. I think he bought 10 heifers from William Williams. He calved those heifers out and he traded William Williams the bull calves back.
When you think about what it was like back then, everything was Hereford. Great-Grandpa Will, he was buying his first Black Angus in a time when it wasn't cool.
He was kind of a progressive guy. He was pretty fiery about the Angus cattle in general. They always said he was kind of bent into the wind. In the 30s, it was pretty rough. They didn't know what they were going to feed cows. They actually cut Russian thistles and stacked them, put molasses on them so they'd eat them. Granddad liked to show his cattle. They would actually rent a train car, and they would just drop the train car off at a certain town, and they'd go to the county fair. Kind of the advertisement in those days. In the late 40s, my dad and mom moved down here. They were kind of living on a shoestring, hardly any money. Ended up with 4 kids living in the middle of nowhere. Dad sacrificed a lot just to keep us going. He worked a lot with machinery. That was how he could make a living and raise cows.
I was raised south of Ord in a farming community called Myra Valley. I came from a generational farm that's 141 years old. I went to school at Curtis at the School of Technical Agriculture, where Mike was also there a year ahead of me, and that's where we met.
When I got married, that's when we started, 1975. 1980, by the time we were in there, that was probably financially the toughest part.
We had just bought a section of ground, and we had bought the heifers from Mike's folks.
The 70s were kind of a roaring time. Prices were good, and then all of a sudden the market crashed.
You didn't even have pocket change. I don't think we bought a candy bar for years. There wasn't anything you could do that was right. Mike continued to AI and keep production records and performance tests. He didn't let just, I'm not going to register this calf because I don't have the money. He continued to do all that. He had kept things together and improved them.
They were able to survive that and really just sticking it out and not giving up.
It's almost like you wouldn't trade it off because you learned so much.
If you made it through that, everything else looked easy.
Mom and Dad were getting to the age where they were starting to look ahead to, do we need to downsize?
Actually, since Bethany and Joel came back, we're getting a lot more done. We've got more cows than we've ever had. Our pastures look better.
The good thing about Mike and I is we kind of have the same idea on what the cow should be. I think that the customers, if we get them to try at least one bull, they usually come back. It's a testament to how Mike and Deb did things, and then how Bethany and I and Jordy are trying to carry on.
I think if you're a Sitz, you don't have a choice. We read the Angus Journal from the time we were 3, and there was no other color cow. It's not something that's easy to give up unless you've got somebody that's really going to do something with it. Most people would just disperse, but I can't ever think about doing that.
For us to be here on the 100th year, it's the fact that they had the strength to continue on and say this cow herd is important to us. That speaks volumes to the type of people that they are and the type of cattle that they raise.
We could have not accomplished what we did without our kids. That has to be stated, that they helped us a lot. We could have never done it without them.
There's not very many, if any, people I know that have cattle. They can trace all their cows back to the same herd.
To stay together 100 years, you kind of have to have generations that really took an interest in it and kind of hung on to it even when the times were really tough. Granddad would be thrilled. If he could just go look at black cattle, he would be thrilled, but he would think it's a great deal just to see the cows still together. It makes you feel really good. It's probably more for my dad and granddad and my folks that kept it together. I just happened to be in the right spot at the right time.